Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to where energy meets the divine. I'm your host, Manuchehri. Before we go to the callers, and if you want to leave a question, you can go to energyintuitive.com and click on the podcast page, and you'll find instructions how to leave me a voicemail that I will ultimately play on the show and answer your question. And you get a free self-hypnosis meditation also for leaving a question. I wanted to talk about, again, this whole concept of adoring, appreciating, valuing yourself. And I think it's kind of a big pill for people to swallow. Like, how do I do this? And it's not an easy thing, even for a seasoned semi-pro in the activity of loving myself. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do. Keep that in mind. And at the same time, any amount of effort or energy you put towards this accomplishment will positively affect your whole entire life, your body, your wealth, your love life, everything. Because you are this super connected, beautiful part of creation. And when you love and adore yourself, you connect even further to your higher self. So you get more wisdom, subatomic particles can more freely flow in your body, and a lot of solutions can be easily found. In saying all of that, any step you take towards appreciating, valuing, loving, cherishing yourself is great. It can build. Even if you stop for a while and you think, ugh, I lost all that momentum. No, if you start to go back to it, the momentum is going to catch up with you. It's like riding a bike. If you haven't ridden one for a while, yeah, you might have a sore seat the first time you get back on the bike. You might have to really work on those glute muscles and your thigh muscles to help you push up the hill. But after a while, you get really good at it. So there's like a muscle memory in adoring and loving yourself, because it is a natural aspect of who we are to love ourselves. Yeah, it's incredibly important. So I just wanted to let you know that any amount of effort you put into this precious endeavor will grow, accumulate, and begin to create permanent shifts in your life. Even if you forget to do it for a while, even if you're mad about something for a while, no big deal. Just get back to it. It's kind of like the people in our lives that we really love, and they do something to piss us off, and we're like annoyed at them for a few minutes, days, weeks, months, and then we're like, oh, but I love them. I love them. So, oh, well, it's kind of like that. Okay, I'm going to go to the phone lines now, and I hope you enjoy the questions and the answers.
Hi, Marie. My name is Christina, and I'm calling from Miami, Florida. My question is regarding somebody that I've been seeing for a couple of months. I haven't really been very lucky in love, really because of my choices in the past. And I feel like I finally came to I'm doing much better with myself. Hence, I'm attracting a different quality of person.
Right.
And so I've met someone who's really great. Pretty much all the things I had asked the universe for. The problem is my heart doesn't really feel it.
Right.
And I know you talk a lot about feelings, and I guess I'm hoping that my heart will catch up to my mind, which I don't know if that's backwards. But I just wanted to see what you thought about that, what you see, and thank you for everything that you do. Bye.
You're very welcome, Christina, and thank you for calling and leaving this really good question. When people have had trauma in their life, and let's say in relationship for you, and I love that you said your choices, right? A lot of people have had traumas in their life. Let's say they had parents that weren't emotionally available, or like my mom was just really busy. She worked 3 jobs sometimes. She had 5 kids. We're all a year apart. I'm the oldest of all of them. So you can only imagine that when you have an older kid, you kind of let them be responsible if they can be while you take care of the younger one. So there's all kinds of reasons why sometimes children don't get the attention that they truly deserve. And this also has to do with past lives. Whatever we're working on, in particular in our childhood, has a lot to do with previous lifetimes. So you are comfortable with trauma and really high, type energy in a relationship. That's what you want. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have high energy in a relationship. Of course you should, but you need stability. I think that a lot of people who've had the experiences that you've had in your previous relationships are waiting for that big flame to kind of rise up in their body. And that's not what you want. You want a slow burn. That's good. Getting to know someone, falling in love with someone over a period of time, not instant impact, not that really high. Does he like me? Oh yeah, he did this for me, or she did this for me. I know they like me now. You're so comfortable with the trauma and that kind of up and down energy. You have not learned to be comfortable with stability. And when it comes to relationship, friendships, and partnerships, stability is an important factor. We need to have people we trust, who have integrity, who respect us, and who are devoted to you. So I think you need to have a talk with your younger selves. And I don't think you've done this before. So I would look for a practitioner to help you with your inner child. I'm a fan of Stephanie Moberg. I think she's a really good intuitive coach, therapist person. She's on my website under recommendations and then under healers. I think she's very talented. But there are lots of people who know how to do inner child work. So that's what you need to start doing, because when anyone starts to do something different and they've changed, like you've changed, we need to, as we're moving into our lives in a different way, we need to distract those inner children so that they don't try to come forward and protect you. Because we don't want a 5-year-old making decisions for you about your adult relationships, or a 3-year-old, or a 1-year-old, or even a 7-year-old. We don't even want a teenager. We want you as the adult person to make decisions about your relationships. So one of the things that I think is really fun to do, and I love to do, is to distract my inner children. If I'm going to do something that I know that's going to push my buttons, or I haven't had a lot of success in whatever area of my life, I talk to my inner children before I engage in that activity. And I make sure that everybody has what they need: crayons, popcorn, a television. I literally, make sure that all the inner children have activities. And I tell them, I've got this. Their job is to play and be a child and not interfere in my adult world. But that takes a little bit of practice, unless you've had some inner child work done or have been mindful of it, and maybe you've read a lot of books about it, then you could certainly go ahead and do that task. Otherwise, I think you should hire someone to help you, because again, you're not familiar with a stable relationship, and people who have traumas can get bored when a relationship is stable if they don't know that about themselves. And if you do figure that out about yourself, you recognize that, then you can have a talk with yourself. Like, it's okay to be in a stable relationship. It's not always supposed to be, I mean, Charles and I lay on the couch for part of the day. We're not always out there hiking, or driving through all the coffee shops. We can get treats, and I can get another soy chai or whatever it is that I'm drinking. We have downtime and we lay around and we hang out, so, and same with my kids and my grandkids. It can't always be high intensity. It's normal to have stability and have calmness in your life. And I don't think that's a familiar experience for you. So that's what I recommend that you do. And that was a really great question. Thank you.
Yes, hi, my name's Lynda, and I have a question regarding our time. We choose to come to this plane, and we choose to leave. And
right.
I have a hard time understanding why my father chose to leave in the way that he left.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a hard time figuring out why he chose to be murdered, if that was his choice.
Yeah.
And what it meant to everyone else that surrounded him.
Oh.
I would love some feedback on that idea, on that concept.
Okay.
it's hard for me to accept.
Oh, hi, Lynda. I'm so sorry. And you don't have to accept anything I say or anyone else does. You get to have your own grief and your own process and your own experience for as long as you want to have. So I know you're trying to make sense of it. The reality is your father's no longer here. Someone took his life. And I think that's hard to really accept and believe, that something devastating like that happened. So you get to take all the time you need, truly. But I can tell you from my perspective, after speaking to many, many souls who have crossed over, and to my guides who teach me things, and the universe, I think the universe is an incredible teacher. Souls are geniuses. They're super bright, intelligent creatures. And they know that Earth, which is not a typical reality, we don't have a lot of realities like Earth that are physical. We have some, but we have many more realities that are non-physical. So all souls know if they're going to reincarnate into a physical reality, they're going to have to die their body in order for their energy to leave. For now, unless someone's an extremely evolved person, because we do have souls who come to Earth who are very evolved and they just walk out of their physical form when they want to be in a different reality. And they can walk back into a physical form too. So we're all going to move in that direction as we continue to evolve and become more conscious. So souls know that this is going to happen. Like they know Earth is a temporary reality. They're hoping to come here to have fun, learn a bunch of stuff, run through the grass, have relationships, find a job, all the things you don't have to do in the non-physical realm. You don't need a job. You don't need a relationship. You don't need food. You don't have a body. It's a very different reality. You certainly don't need a job. So your father, because I can hear him, we're having a chat right now, which is very, very sweet. He said his life was a little boring as of late, and he knew that was going to happen towards the end of his life, and he wanted to go out with a bang. That's what he said. I want to go out with a bang. And he knew that before he reincarnated. He knew that he wanted to go quickly. He hadn't been injured in that way for a long, long time, because many souls do come to Earth repetitively. So they've had many different types of exits. And along with being geniuses, souls are also curious. Like, I haven't been stabbed in that part of my body. I haven't been shot in that part of my body. And just know that souls also stab and shoot others, right? Like in some lifetimes, we've all hurt other people. And so sometimes we get curious, like, oh yeah, I've never been strangled. I strangled that person in the 13th century. Ooh, I want to find out what that's like. That's what they're like. They're very curious. But your father wanted to go out with a bang, he tells me. He wanted a dramatic exit that got everybody's attention. And it sounds like that's exactly what happened. So I know I'm making it sound like there's not a lot of emotion involved, because there isn't. Because souls, when they're on the other side, because they're making these decisions before they reincarnate, they don't look at death as painful or problematic. They're just wanting to have experiences. And souls don't regularly think about other souls. Souls are very independent contractors. I know it doesn't look like that from being in a body and being in a human realm. We don't look at life that way, most of us, and we're working on detachment and recognizing that we're powerful creatures in our own right. So he chose this. He wanted a dramatic ending. He got one. This does not dissolve your grief. Your father's gone and he left sooner than you thought he would. And it's upsetting. And so perhaps at some point, what I said will bring some peace to you, but it doesn't have to. You can feel whatever you need to feel as long as you want to feel it. Remember that souls are geniuses, so they're not victims of their circumstances, even though they may look like it. And of course, our job is to catch criminals and hopefully stop wars so that we can end certain, violence that is unfortunately still part of the consciousness on Earth. It's not the consciousness outside of Earth. Yeah, Earth is one of the lowest vibrational realities in all of the cosmos. So vocabulary such as famine and crime do not exist outside of our realm, outside of our vibration. I hope that's helpful. But he said, I want to go out with a bang. I want it to be dramatic. I hope that brings you some peace. I truly do.
Hello, Marie. My name is Emmy, and I am from Massachusetts. I found you through the Alex Ferrari podcast, and I've been following you ever since. I love what you do, and I love your energy. I am calling because I am stepping into my own light as a medium,
Yay.
and I feel like I'm being told to do energy work. I would like some confirmation, and I am also wondering what else should I be doing with the energy work? I know that I am channeling my guides, and I have had a couple of loved ones come through. So I guess I am just trying to find where to go with this. You talk about finding your joy so often, and really this is what brings me the most joy for myself. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I love what you do.
Thank you so much. Thankfully, I love what I do too. So this is great. You're on the right track. You know what you like. You've had some experiences. Practice, 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 practice. And try not to get too caught up in that it's only going to be energy work. I think that highly intuitive people get to have all kinds of intuitive experiences. So don't be surprised if you start to have mediumship experiences, just like mediums start to have energetic healing experiences with their clients as well. So try not to pigeonhole yourself into it's going to be this and only this. Be open. I don't know what's going to happen in a session. I don't know what's going to happen in a radio show. I don't know what's going to happen in a class. I don't have preconceived ideas of who I am, what I'm doing, or what's going to happen. I think that's not healthy. You want to play. You want to have fun. So I think you're on the right track. I think you're doing all the right things. Practice, practice, practice. And if a class comes up that makes you excited, like your energy increases, take a class. Yeah, start to learn some new and different things and take parts of it that work for you. You don't have to take everything when you take a class. So when I finished nursing and I took a leave of absence. The hospital didn't want me to leave permanently. So they said, why don't you take a year leave of absence? This was in 2000. And I had been working for an osteopath doing energy work in her office, and it was going very well. But I knew I wanted to work from home. And she and I didn't always agree on the treatment plan, which is fine. It was her clinic, her clients. But I wanted to do what I believed was in the best interest of people. I think people need space. For me, the way I work in between sessions, I think that a lot goes on and a lot potential of change can occur, a transformation, if you will. That doesn't have to be how anybody else works, by the way. So I left this woman's practice. She was an osteopath, and I brought my practice back home. And one of the things I loved about the universe, it said, just be present with the experience. Have lots of experiences, but don't try to pigeonhole yourself into a certain framework of mediumship or energy work. That's why I like the phrase that I chose, energy intuitive, right? Because I'm intuitive about energy. So have fun, stay on the right track, practice, 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 practice. Because for a lot of intuitives, you learn while you do it. While you're having the experience with another person is how you learn for many individuals. Okay, I think that will work. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marie. My name is Olivia, and I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. Your podcast is such a source of wisdom and inspiration. Thank you. I'm calling in hopes of receiving some intuitive insights from you. I've had health issues for the last 4 years, including postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, otherwise known as POTS, and extreme fatigue, as well as GI issues. I'm mostly homebound at this point, and I want a future where I can share my gifts with the world. I'm considering trying more aggressive treatments like immunotherapy, but I'm curious to know if you have any thoughts about why this has happened and what I can do to heal. I'm sending you so much gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I absolutely adore your show. Take care, Marie.
Thank you. I'm not against doing immune therapy work, but I think you should start with a natural path first if you haven't. A really good one. I'm curious about Lyme's disease. I would love it if you start taking serapeptase, but you're going to need to ask a practitioner. It's just a prophylactic digestive enzyme, but it breaks down things like Lyme. So it can really be effective. I think people who live in Lyme, not that San Francisco is, but Lyme disease areas should take serapeptase if it's medically okay for them regularly. I take it every day, but because you might be on some medications and you have other health issues, I definitely want you to check with a practitioner. I think that would be great. Now, one of the reasons why you're not getting well is you have a major leak in the back of your heart chakra. I drew out your energy, and at first, it didn't look like you had a leak in the fourth. I was drawing all these arrows into the vortex, but then I drew out your auric field because I couldn't see completely why you were sick. And when I went into the aura, then I could see the back of the heart chakra, and you have a major leak. It's like having 4 or 5 blow dryers in your body, and the nozzles are heading towards the upper portion of your back, and you're blowing out your life force. It's very difficult to get well when that's happening. This is the back of the heart chakra is the highest receptivity center in the entire body, and you're not taking energy in, and everything requires energy, especially to repair. So everything requires energy, but to repair the body, you need to have even more energy. Otherwise, the body's just doing everything it can just to survive. And then you have a major leak in the first vortex. These are my 2 least favorite chakras to leak at the same time. I don't like it. I don't think it's good for the body. And when people have health issues and I see this, I know, oh, well, it's going to be really hard to get better unless you start taking energy in. So the back of the heart chakra is always about trust and betrayal and not feeling safe. And I think it would be great if you start talking to your body, like looking down and say, oh, it's 2025. I have this job, or I have these resources, or I live over here. Just kind of tell your body why you're safe. Like it's safe to be a woman in 2025, certainly versus the 15th century. So that you can start to trust and then begin visualizing energy moving in your back, not through your body, only inside your body. You want to hold on to these particles. I don't think people should be, I'm not saying you are, but in general, I don't think people should be flushing out their stagnant energy. If individuals would just take in energy, that increase of subatomic particles will build and it will help release stagnation where it needs to be released. And then you need to feel safe here on earth too. So both of these are about feeling safe. It would be nice if you started to do the what if question. What if I easily feel safe? What if I feel safe on earth? What if my life is amazing? What if it's getting better and better and better? What if with every breath I take, my body gets healthier and healthier? And so if you could visualizing is a great way to move energy. If you could visualize energy moving from the earth into the bottoms of your feet and feeding the first chakra, because when the first chakra takes in energy, it also sends it to the first layer of the auric field. And then the auric field, that first layer, is a hologram of all of your anatomy and physiology and complete and total health. And when that hologram is fed with earth energy, which yours is not, because you're leaking your life force out of your body, there's no room for energy to move in. You're literally leaking your life force out of 2 chakras, even the top of your crown, which can affect the neurological system. So you've got a leak in the top of the crown, although I'm not as concerned regarding your symptoms, and then the back of the fourth, and then the first vortex. So when the first chakra takes in energy and it sends it to the first layer of the auric field, then this hologram of all of your anatomy and physiology and complete and total health can actually talk to your real anatomy and remind it what health is like, remind it of what health looks like, so it can start to repair. So I would love for you to do this for a while before you consider immune therapy, because if that's where you need to go, if nothing else is working and that's where you need to go, we want it to work, not cause problems only. We want it to work. And with this leaking, it's going to be difficult to get something to work, and certainly difficult for get it to work long term. And I think you should see a naturopath. You live in San Francisco. I'm sure there's many credible naturopathic physicians. Even if you choose to do immune therapy, you would have someone to support your body doing that type of therapy, if that's what needs to happen, which it may not if you start taking energy in your body, you're going to feel better. Things are going to start to repair. Things can move in a very positive direction quickly. So you can visualize 1,000,000 hummingbirds flying into your back. You can visualize beautiful rays of light moving up into your feet, whatever makes you happy, huge quantities. And I would visualize this multiple times a day, or creatively imagine it, feel it. Maybe it's music and you allow yourself to hear it. But yeah, for some reason you don't believe you're worthy and deserving, and that's why you're leaking subatomic particles. And unfortunately, it has now affected your health. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. It's Nicole Johnson again at enableToRise.com. I just wanted to send you a message telling you how much I appreciated your podcast. I didn't realize, or your interview with Alex, I didn't realize I could ask you a question.
Yes,
okay. Here
please.
is my question. I recently left a 33-year career where I made money, a lot of money.
Yeah, great.
But it ended quite drastically and quite embarrassingly, I guess you could say. And now I'm forced to put my money where my mouth is. I have savings, so I can give myself 2 years to do this. But I want to really finally start my passion project that I've been thinking about toying with for the past 10 years. Was blessed to go to a personal development conference where I got to learn that we are in control of our happiness. We are in control of our mindset, and we define meaning.
Yes.
And I think everyone should know that, not just the people that can afford a $10,000 conference. And
Right.
so I purchased enableToRise.com. It's a URL, but I've done nothing because I'm so afraid of failing since I was so successful in the 9-to-5. And the universe literally closed that chapter for me quite drastically. So I'm forced to do my Enable to Rise vision. So here's my question. How can somebody that has been so stuck to money and ego and the matrix suddenly shift and now be that engaged in a passion project? When you are so fearful, how are you going to support your family? Yes, I have savings. Yes, I can toy with this for 2 years, but it's because of my lack mentality that I'm having difficulty starting. So what advice would you give somebody that was stuck in the matrix for so long, knew in her heart that she needed to do something different, and then the universe just opened itself up and shoved her out of the nest and said, here you go, buttercup. What would you suggest? Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. First of all, it's not like people can only make money if they're in the matrix of corporations. God made corporations too. Creation made everything, even nuclear power plants, which is a whole nother topic if we want my intuitive reading on that, because I think they're the stupidest things on the planet. But anyway, the universe made everything. So I think you need to stop focusing on that you weren't part of the universe when you were in the corporate world, because you were. And the universe supported you and helped you create wealth and stability in your life. And for whatever reason, maybe because you've been asking to have this other thing in your life, the universe went, oh, well, here's an opportunity, and they kicked you out of the nest. So you need to just recognize that it doesn't matter what you do in the world. If you can make wealth, you can make wealth. It doesn't matter what you do. You have learned that you are worthy and deserving. You may believe that it's only based on the corporate mechanism, which is a false perception. It's extremely false. You actually already know how to create wealth. And I know you have this structure in your brain, because there's a building and a CFO and all of that. Now you need to get rid of that. Those are just human designs. We're talking about the universe. The universe doesn't care about human design. It's just helping us no matter what. So that's the first thing you need to look at. And the second thing would be is before you engage with wealth, and now you have this time to really practice this. You have time to practice. Before you engage with wealth, you need to discover what makes you feel super, super happy. I mean, like extremely happy. And then that needs to be in your mind and in your emotions every time you grab a credit card, cash, transfer funds, before you look at your accounts. You need to be in high frequency. A lot of people drop their energy when they're connecting with money. it's just a natural things that humans do. We've been programmed to worry about it and to think that there's a lack potential. And that's why people have been tied to certain jobs and fake golden parachutes for a while now. So I know this is going to sound a little weird. I'm starting to see a picture for you, and I literally see very soft pebbles, and you're walking barefoot. You even have pants on. The pants are getting a little wet on the hem. They're like washed jeans with a little bit of fringe on them. And these pebbles are soft. You're barefoot. It's not hurting you, but there's a little bit of trickle of water, just a little bit. And all I can see really are the pebbles, your feet, the water, and you walking in it. That could be your happy spot. That could be your happy, happy, happy place. That means if that's true for you, and your mind's not going to know that, only your emotional body will know that, then your job is to get into that emotional feeling as you step into any financial endeavor. And this is a forever exercise. No one should ever stop this exercise. Once they've discovered what brings them joy, they should engage in that vibration before they get active. So like, one of the things I have to pay, all kinds of taxes throughout the year. And so before I make any transfers, I wait till I'm really happy. For me, it's subatomic particles. I think about subatomic particles, and they just bring me great joy. It raises my frequency. Once I'm in that vibration, then I can get onto accounts and transfer funds. Forever exercise. And even though I love this passion project, I don't want you to put all of your eggs in one basket. You don't know yet all of the things that you're capable of creating and experiencing. So don't, put yourself in a corner. Be open. You can go ahead and put energy into this, but be open to whatever is in your highest good. Whatever's in your highest good. What if I'm open to whatever's in my highest good for profound success and incredible wealth? And something that feeds my spirit. Yeah, that's what I think. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this fun and interesting, I think it's always interesting podcast. I love the questions. I wish you a beautiful, joyful day. All my love to all of you. Bye-bye.